So I want to invite out Alexis Maybank. She is the founder and right now the chief strategy officer of the Gilt Group. Now I have to confess that I am a huge fan of the Gilt Group. If you don't know them, they are at very, very high level there. You could say an e-commerce site, but I actually think about it. They are a retailer. They sell goods. I bought this from Gilt. Literally, I was talking to my wife this morning, and she said, "Make sure you tell Alexis, thank you."
Thank your wife for me.
Exactly. It is I would highly recommend, as you're there, if you can, to go take a look at it. It is a really interesting community and experience and site, and I think the work that you guys have been able to do at Gilt Group really is changing how we interact and also how we buy, how we interact with brands. What has that been like for you?
Well, there are a number of things that are shaping what we do today. And for those of you not familiar with Gilt Group, today we have about 5 million customers shopping for over 6,000 brands. We ship out over $500 million of product nationally and internationally, mostly designer goods. And although it'd be very fun, I guess, if we talked about fashion and mixed up this conference a little bit, I'll try to focus on some of the things on the back end that we're doing and that's really shaping the way in which we specifically think about communicating with customers. Trends that we're seeing that's really shaping how we go about creating an experience online that is pulling in millions and millions of people, often at the same second, onto our website each and every day. One of the first things that I'd love to talk about is just a huge impact to our business is the change towards mobile smartphone devices and what it's not just doing to our business, but how it's shaping how information is spread and changed. In just a year's time, we watched our revenue shift from about 0% taking place on iPhones, iPads, other smartphone devices, to nearly verging on 30% of our revenues day in and day out taking place on these devices. So we've had to very much rethink our business and the way in which our information, our products are communicated and sold based on this major trend taking place. Now when we are designing for our website, designing for our product, if you will, we have to first think about a world not so far away in which the majority of goods in our case, but I think we're probably a leading example, will be taking place on very different formats. We, in 48 months, could look at ourselves, our business, as a predominantly mobile, smartphone-driven business. And what does that mean with how we share and display information? We've had to rethink not just that from an engineering standpoint, a customer support standpoint, even down to the products we buy and display. And it's a testament to, I think, how a lot of things are moving over the next 12 to 24 months. We saw this change in just 12 short months. In addition, one thing that is critically important to how we do business day in and day out is just looking at the number of our customers who are interacting not just about our goods and services, but actually even just voicing the questions they have for us across the social media world. There are over 1 billion people on social networks today, 800 million or above just on Facebook. So over the past 2 years, we've gone from mostly a phone and email-based business when having to service our customer, create loyalty amongst our base, to actually shifting to having to service that customer largely through a customer support team that is proactively monitoring any message, good or bad, no matter where it happens online or if it's even directed to us. We've had to shift the way in which we're catering to our customers so that it's responsive to any comment that might be made out there in the social world. And really the implications of that and how you have to sustain the conversation with a customer are huge, how you have to sustain that relationship with the customer.
So let me ask you this, you mentioned experience, and that's one of the things that at Gilt that you guys are really good at is creating a very unique experience. I mean, because as you and I were talking backstage, I mean, people can go and buy the goods and the fashions at lots of other places. They don't have to come to Gilt, but you create an experience that is actually quite unique. And so how, when you're thinking about that experience and when you were founding the company and thinking about, okay, how do we differentiate ourselves, Granted, it was e-commerce. Granted, it was pricing and things like that. But you really differentiated on the experience to be a part of Gilt.
One thing that I love thinking about is how you create businesses that can't exist without the internet or even just cloud computing today. How can you build a business that could not exist without those as a backbone? So I think I was sharing with you maybe how Gilt views some of that. Day in and day out, we have nearly 5 million customers coming to us at the very exact same moment. If I think of an offline environment and a virtual storefront, you could never create a business in which you had 90% of your customers come rushing through the same door at the same moment.
I was just imagining that happening in Soho as it was coming down.
Yeah, it's quite terrifying. And believe me, I've seen the whites of our engineers' eyes on many occasions when we have certain brands and see the stampede. It also meant that as a business, we've, from very early days, had to look just for about 90 minutes a day, as virtually 75% of our revenues come in just those 90 minutes each and every day. We have to look like an Amazon from very early on in our life, yet and operate like a small company for all the rest of that day. So imagine a system in which you have to explode out to being a Walmart in terms of square footage, and then shrink back down to be that corner store for the rest of the day. That has huge implications on how you staff your customer support, down to the backbone from a technology standpoint. But what I love about the model we've built is that these things just couldn't exist offline. You couldn't have a business that swaps out, turns over its virtual inventory over 150 times a week. You just couldn't set it up and tear it down that frequently. Many of the problems we have, we could not have solved without technology as the backbone to facilitate it. We have to get out over 20,000 boxes within about 60 minutes across the equivalent of 6 football fields every single day for that hour period. So very early on, we had to think, okay, well, clearly we can't hire Olympic level sprinters to pick all of our boxes. So we turned quickly to robotics and these cute 2x2 robots to zoom across our floor at 30 miles an hour. And in fact, they're so fast and they're so accurate, I'm not allowed to step in their same space because I'll get in their way. And things like that are really shaping the way in which business occurs online differently.
And that's why, because we are talking about sort of the future of work, that's one of the things that I find very interesting about Gilt and about what you've done is that it is about e-commerce, but it's also about goods and selling things and actually how you move things around. And I can tell you, though, as you know, I'm a big fan, but now, sort of as a futurist, I want to come and hang out with the robots. I really want to come hang out with the robots. But I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.